Steelers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm not quite clear on the return.
Kale probably knows. Kale?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
I haven't seen a return.
Hitman Lewis Riddick is breaking it down currently.
But I think we have to think, talking about those wide receivers.
Yeah.
Well, we all know Tampa Bay could use one. They could also use a tackle to protect Tom Brady. So it could be either of those that they want to move up to get. But talking about JuJu, I mean, listen, I would have made the trade for 13. Absolutely. I think I'd have made the trade for 31. You
could get another receiver too. If you would have made the trade for 13, they could have got another receiver later on in this draft, and it wouldn't have been the end of the world.
Well, if you take a receiver in the first round, you're getting a receiver you're going to have for 5 more years against the guy you're going to have for 1. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. Even if you're a team that's seriously, dedicated to putting all their resources into this coming season, like the Steelers have shown to be, and as should be with the end of Ben Roethlisberger's career coming up, they need to be in win now mode. But I think, to me, if you can trade a JuJu Smith-Schuster for a first-round wide receiver, which he wasn't, that you would have for 5 years, that's an easy trade to make, and also save themselves a little salary cap space this year, maybe too. Not a lot, but man, to me, that's an easy move to make. Kale, I think you had something here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't know necessarily the truth to the rumor of trading this 13th pick for JuJu, but I have heard the 31st, and I absolutely agree with you. I heard this over the weekend, and I couldn't agree more. JuJu Smith-Schuster has been good here in Pittsburgh. He's also been very marketable, which is something you can't, not address as well, because that obviously this is a business, and he's been very popular. And he had the really difficult year last year, really out of his control with the knee injury, the foot injury, and having Mason Rudolph be the primary quarterback throwing him passes. But still, I think JuJu, a guy that a lot of people, like Mike said, is a guy that likely won't be here next year after his final season in Pittsburgh. Then maybe a guy the Steelers won't pay. They obviously paid Antonio Brown, but they had to pay him because he was the best receiver in football. JuJu Smith-Schuster doesn't come across as the best receiver in football. The Steelers will go out and shell money to pay him. So I think definitely that if you're offered the 31st pick for JuJu Smith-Schuster, you take it in a heartbeat. You take it before you hang up the phone, because I think that the depth of receiver in this draft, that's a situation where you let JuJu go and you bring in a young receiver that can maybe do some more things than JuJu potentially, because of the depth of receiver here. And he's a guy that even after the Ben Roethlisberger tenure is over in 2 years or so, you still have around. So if you do get that next quarterback in the mix, he's got a ready-made weapon that he can use once the new era starts at quarterback in Pittsburgh. Yeah,
and the Bucs here are the team on the clock after that move, and they potentially are looking to protect Brady, I'd imagine. And again, tackle.
I agree that they're going to go offensive tackle here.
Yeah, that's seemingly the situation, especially after bringing in Gronk. I mean, they do need weapons, but they have some weapons there. They're not completely depleted of weapons, and Brady can make anybody better than they are, but needs protected more than anything else, especially at his age. However, when you look at JuJu, he's a guy that obviously has performed very, very well overall. However, he came in last year with a lot of pressure on him because AB was not there. And I think the issue that's not going to get him paid, that's going to get him to have an exodus after next season, and why I also would have traded him here, is because he had a season as the number 1. I get there were backup quarterbacks. I get Duck. I get Mason Rudolph. I get the injuries. However, he also dropped a lot of passes, and you see a lot of analytic stats in there that show that even when he was there, he wasn't getting separation. Point of it is, he was not playing well enough to be a number 1 wide receiver. He was not playing like a number 1 wide receiver. Deontay Johnson actually had the better separation in the games they were there together than JuJu, and he was a rookie. So JuJu not able to play well and get separation without AB getting the double coverage, and that double coverage now going to JuJu, is a big deal. And that is why it's okay to move on from him. That is why you make this move now. That is why you start over again with a wide receiver, especially money-wise. And that is why he's not going to be back after 1 more year. So fans can get emotional all they want because they love him and think that we're all just haters if we say it. Fans attack when you say move JuJu, but that seemed like a slam dunk and seemingly is something that was going to happen. The Niners